What's up, everybody? Welcome to another brand new episode of the Last Way Podcast. We dive into topics like ghosts, UFOs, conspiracies, cryptids, nerd stuff, and some tech news here and there. If you're new to the channel, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Throw a like on the video if you can. We also have a Facebook page, a Patreon, a blog, a Twitter that we're still trying to get back online, and all that good stuff. We've got plenty of side projects going on. We also run a paranormal research and ghost hunting group. So there's plenty to do, plenty to enjoy. You can find out all kinds of stuff about us on our Facebook page. So feel free to check that out. It's got links to everything. But today, we're actually going to go back to the ad. This will be another one in that series. I believe number 5 by this point, probably. Now, if you have not followed, if you have followed a few episodes that we've done early on, or not, here's the scoop and the basics of what the ad is. Um, Gosh, I don't know, maybe a year. It's been at least a year, maybe more, that I decided before any of this started, I put out an ad on Craigslist and a few other places just to help people with questions, concerns, or investigations, anything they needed, because I've researched basically everything under the paranormal umbrella for 10 years, really hardcore, probably 15 altogether. So around half my life has been paranormal research in one form or the other. And I've got some crazy responses, but thankfully now that I have a paranormal research group and the podcast and the blog, we've been able to get this message out. Team members and myself have really been able to help people, which is more rewarding than anything. We don't charge for investigations. We really just go in and try to help out, help the client, help the people, and get them some answers or some closure, whatever they need, whatever's best for them is really what we try to do. So again, while I do not recommend putting an ad out for anything on Craigslist in 2020, this is something that I've just it's kind of a journey that I've been on, and now I'm dragging along the rest of the group. So again, we put out the ad for anybody that need questions, concerns with anything under the paranormal, home investigations, home blessings, anything like that. Which we did complete our first home blessing earlier this year. It went very smoothly. It went well. I couldn't have asked for anything better. The clients were happy. We were happy. Everybody was happy. So that being said, putting an ad on Craigslist for paranormal activity obviously gets us some outright angry emails. You got people saying how crazy we are, how these things don't exist, blah, blah, blah. We got some of the craziest stories I've ever heard. We've got offers for help from multiple people, offers for collaboration from some people. So it's just been a absolute melting pot of everything. But we have received way more replies than I ever expected to get anyway. And not one of them has been, hey, we have some ghosts if you want to come see them. And none of them has been that that cut and dry, that straightforward. But most recently, we have got some really some extremely interesting ones. And again, some of the other episodes in this series include an entire family that I thought was possibly mediums, an actual witch curse, and an incredibly strong and stirring story about a young woman's encounter with a shadow being throughout her entire life. The main two stories that we're going to focus on today include someone who's actually contacted me a year or so ago during the first ad that I put out. However, his story, and I'll change some genders, all the names, and no locations. So you just kind of have to take me at my word that these stories are as true as they are from the people that are giving it to us. These are just the stories that I've received from people, and I don't include them if I don't have reason to at least think they're possibly true. So take that with a grain of sand or grain of salt, whatever the saying is. Anyway, so this first person contacted me over a year ago, but again, his story was really absurd. I couldn't imagine that this person wasn't messing with me. The individual, and again, it's important I don't use names, uh, but he relayed through multiple emails that he is visited nightly by some unknown force, and the interactions are sexual in nature. again, due to my naivete, I guess you would say, with this ad and things of that nature. 'Cause this is one of the first responses I got on the first round of ads. I just wasn't sure that they were presenting a true account. It just seemed so just ridiculous. But to save the details from others and to make it more of a family-friendly show, I will say that the interactions were sometimes forceful and encompassed, again, multiple parts of the body. Some were sexual in nature, but again, I did not believe the first time around. But again, after hearing from this person again on multiple rounds of the ad emails and the latest round of emails, I had to take them seriously. I had to try to help if I could. I didn't know if they were suffering from some type of mental issue or if this was real or if they were just making it up. But I had to try to do what I could to help. And again, it makes me sound as if we just left the guy hanging and moved on at first. But if someone emails you telling you certain things that are extremely outlandish, even in our field, it's hard to believe sometimes. But the account continues that it has been happening for years, and nothing the person has done to stop them has worked. With a bit more knowledge and research, the team and I did pretty much figure out that it could be an incubus or succubus. This is possibly what could have been happening to the individual. And when you look at even shows like Ghost Adventures, they had an episode in the recent seasons where an elderly man of a family was reporting the same exact thing. And this is what really opened my eyes. I know most people who are true and honest paranormal investigators don't get their eyes opened by a show very often, but this one really did. It was even so far as when the gentleman was being an interview with Zach, they were just sitting at the kitchen table, and the guy was like, "I can feel them right now, like touching me." So again, that opened my eyes way more to the possibility of this being a real situation. The gentleman in that episode went on to get an exorcism, which no matter how long you research just random paranormal stuff, that's out of your pay grade most times. So um, we couldn't offer that. But so my team basically came up with some suggestions to possibly help them. Certain rituals or things to do that hinder those types of entities, burning incense and sage, body cleansing techniques as well. Obviously, we suggested religious techniques based on the person's beliefs. And no matter what you believe, it does seem that most of these entities, whether you call them demons, incubus, succubus, even shadow people, or shadow beings tend to respond to the name of God, Jesus, and other Christian traditions and items as well. So time will tell if these suggestions have actually had an effect on this person. Hopefully they will, and they have. I have not heard back from them, but if I do, and I reached out asking, I usually do this with clients after a while, but for some reason the Craigslist email thing just stops working after a while. So a lot of times I do lose contact, and a lot of times early on I did, but now I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit. So my team and I keep track of people. We're actually starting to write them down and compiling evidence, compiling notes, that kind of thing. So a little bit better job that we're doing. Um, but yeah, that one was definitely up there with the craziest stories that we received, bar none. And again, we've dealt with curses and entire families that are mediums and shadow people and weird creatures. I mean, we've gotten responses about everything, and that one has really stuck with me over the last year. So hopefully we'll hear back from that person again. I probably won't put out the ads again until after Christmas. So maybe when we do, we'll get another response and we can be able to contact the person again and try to find them other help if we can't offer them enough help. So for right now, we'll have to put that one on hold and we'll have to move on. But our next set of emails are almost strangely related, I think. So we're going to do them kind of together. The first one and they're both, again, it's one of those things you would not believe at first. But the first one I received was from a woman who was concerned about something she was doing to other people, but she had no control over it. She was convinced that she was actually making people itch. And no matter where she would go, she noticed people within a certain range, or if she could see them at some point, They reached out to scratch an itch or noticeably fidgeted uncomfortably. So at first, I mean, obviously, I was dumbfounded with this. I never heard of this before, and explained that this could just be something like a minor tick or an OCD type kind of habit. Like she has seen that it happens, so now she has to notice it or has to look for it. Um, I also put forth that humans are just notoriously fidgety creatures. We have hair and clothes and weather and 100 other things that make us move in some way. So it could just be a simple truth there. But she also forwarded me a video showing another female speaking in length about the same feeling and that they had seemed to be experiencing the same exact thing. So it wasn't just a one-off. I couldn't just dismiss it as someone was playing a prank. I couldn't just dismiss it as false. They were showing me evidence of other people that had believed the same thing. It seems there's a community out there that just think they make others itch. Now, again, when I say before, I told her this could have been a minor tick or an OCD habit. I kind of relate it to buying a new car, and all of a sudden you see hundreds of other people that are buying that car. Like you've noticed it, so now it's something that you notice. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know why that came to me. That just came to me as an answer. It could not be. It could be totally something legit, but I thought that might be why it is. Um, the only other thing I could kind of tie it to was the possibility that it was similar to what happens when they have weird electric or magnetic effects. Like the guy who could walk under street lamps and they would cut off, or people who claim to be able to stick metal things to their skin because their skin is magnetized. My theory was that if it was really happening and it wasn't demons or psychic ability or even bugs, like some of these individuals fear, like they literally thought they were infecting other people with some type of lice or something. I think it could be their aura, electric field, I guess you could say. Um, Everyone knows humans have an electrical field or energy in their body, soul, aura, whatever you call it. But we can also interact with certain electrical items due to our field. So I put forward that it could have something to do with these people having fluctuations in their field and causing disruptions in other people's fields. I don't know. It still sounds crazy when I say it, but it kind of makes sense. I don't know why it makes sense. And again, this this is from a little bit of research, but this is also just I honestly have no idea. Like this, it just came to me that may be what it is. Because I know, you know, it's hard to explain, but humans obviously can interact with electric items. If you ever touch your finger, if you ever have your earphones in, you touch your fingers to the jack piece, sometimes it'll make a humming noise, it'll make a vibration noise. So, I mean, we clearly exhibit electric, a field or the ability to mess with electric items. So I say that certainly could be something. It very well could be something to do with that. But our last real quick email came in rather recently, and it was from another female who reported that she could hear people very well throughout her life. Doesn't sound like anything at first, but she noted that things were always louder when she was around. She thought she heard voices numerous times, and she always knew when the phone was about to ring or someone was nearby. It just seemed to be like a weird version of the sixth sense. So I had to relate back to the previous lady's conundrum. This sounded like a similar instance. For example, imagine you had an aura or an electrical field around you. When someone is coming into your space, you can sense them. So, also, side note, when a text message comes through a phone, it obviously has a signal. So, that would be possible to detect as well if you had, a sensitive aura or a sensitive field around you. Again, that may make no sense. And please feel free if you have any kind of information, any thoughts on this, comment down below, message us on Facebook, whatever. We'd love to hear from you on this stuff. But just looking around, looking up some little bit of information on it, that's kind of what I figured it would be. Um, that or these people are making it up, or it's nothing at all. But to me, that it just seems like something is interfering with them. And you don't see it on the new. And the reason I related to text message is because I firmly remember, like the older computers, if you set your phone beside it and a text message came through, the screen would like glitch out for just like a second. So if that text message and all this, I think they call it electric fog, electric haze, what have you, because of all the electricity that we're around, if you can feel that, and if your aura or energy field is feeling that, then it very well could possibly be manipulated by that, and you could feel things differently, or things could change once they're inside of your field. I don't know. I thought it was pretty crazy. I thought it was very interesting to talk to these people and to see, if these abilities were real or if they were just imagining things. It was very interesting conversations. The conversations are still open and ongoing. I gave them my thoughts and opinion. Um, I really comforted them and just told them that that they didn't seem crazy. It definitely seemed like something was going on. Um, for the for the poor lady um, that was worried about the itching, I definitely had to tell her I didn't think she was giving people bugs. I thought that was really sad. I was like, I don't, I don't believe you're infecting people with some unseen. Well, I mean, I guess maybe COVID, but not unseen bugs of some sort. There's no lice that's jumping from you making people itch. So that's gonna do it for the ad. I know those are some pretty crazy interactions, but that's what we get. That's what comes through from people, and I don't go very many states away, so I haven't even reached out to anywhere past Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. Actually, I don't even think I've done Georgia. So just a few states around us, and that is the sheer amount of wild emails that we get. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of combine those. Neither one is really, a whole episode worth of information, but they were just interesting enough that I think they need to be talked about and they need to be discussed. Because I rarely heard about the sexual attacks from entities. I know it happens, but it's such a really true rare case. And as far as those last two emails with the people thinking that they make people itch, and the weird distortions in the last lady's field, and the fact that she thinks people are louder when she's around. She can hear voices sometimes. She can know when the phone's ringing. Again, it seemed like some type of sixth sense, like just a little bit of heads up or a little bit of extra. I feel like we're all unique, we're all different, and we all feel and see things differently. So there's no reason that, and we know from, well, we don't know. I guess you could say from different techniques and different beliefs that we all have different auras and different energy, different vibes, if you will. So again, it's very possible that what we discussed, what my team and those ladies discussed, could be true. It could very well be true. It could be 100% accurate. It could be not accurate at all. But again, that's why we do this. That's why we discuss. We bring these topics out so that way we can open up a discussion and a dialogue and get to the bottom of these things and really just mark them down so that they're marked down in history, um, of like saying, hey, this did happen. And this wasn't just me. I wasn't just crazy. It's happening to other people. And a lot of times, honestly, the responses I get or the replies that we get from the ad are just that. It's just people that want to know, like, hey, am I really seeing this ghost, or am I cursed, or am I just having a bad time? A lot of what we do is play mediator. If I think I can talk to a client better, then I will address them. If I think they'll work better with another member of the team, then we'll send that team member in. I mean, whatever we can do to help the people is the main goal. So that's going to wrap it up for today. But again, I'm really, we're more than open to discussion. So please hit us up on the comments below, the Facebook page. The Facebook page for the research group, if you want to join or be a part of that, is Hickory Occult and Paranormal Society. HOPS, HOPS. Again, we post a lot on there, a lot of cool articles, pictures. We should be posting some stuff from a recent investigation pretty soon. We got some pretty interesting photos. And I want to say we got some EVPs, but we've got to review them first. So can't jump the gun on that one. We've definitely got some interesting photos and some interesting stories from this most recent investigation. So that's going to do it for us today. Again, please feel free to contact us any way you can. If you have any stories or questions or concerns, definitely get a hold of us. You should be able to find the email address on the main page for YouTube. Or again, you can go to the blog. You can message us there. You can message us on the Facebook page. Anywhere you can find us to get a hold of us, and we'll help you out. But as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Throw a like on it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll catch you on the next episode.